I remember having this conversation recently, and I
Yeah.
said, what's the very last line of the Lord of the Rings? It's Samwise Gamgee saying, "Well, I'm home." That's
Mm.
the point. The point of all of it is the hobbits. The point of all of it, we live in an age where we say, "Oh, it's not the destination, it's the journey." No, it's the destination. What are we arguing about? We're arguing about what the destination is.
Mm.
What they're trying to convince you is that it's only the journey. And if they can convince you of that, then everything else follows from their point of view.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That might be a good place to end, I think. That was beautiful because I think that tied into something that you said earlier about people that or basically the idea that we're going to live forever, or like the belief in the belief in eternal life
Right.
versus the opposite of that. And if you believe in eternal life, you're going to every moment matters. And if you
Yeah.
don't, then it's like you said, and I love that. Man, that's a great place to end, is talking about the journey versus the destination. And if you have this destination in mind that you want to go, this positive destination, you're going to live your day-to-day life differently. And that's going to affect, and I know that's affected my relationship with porn, is I have a destination in mind for myself.
Right.
Where before, when I struggled with porn, where I couldn't really grasp a great way to get it out of my life or to recover from it, I didn't really have a destination. And this is so
Yeah.
beautiful you said this, because it really does make so much sense. And hopefully, if you're listening, this kind of clicks with you as well. But if you don't have a destination, you don't have that compass, you're just going to, and kind of talking about the maps being in the map, you're just kind of lost. Like, and what better way
Well,
to, I guess, fill your time with something that's endless and filling you with pleasure?
not just that, but I think what it is it's a reaction to the idea that what we're doing is we're replacing eternal life, which is physical, with eternal life that is only spiritual. So AI is going to extend us farther and farther from our bodies. What we're doing is we're incrementally destroying the human body and replacing it with only the brain. So
Hmm.
you understand that the human models of what immortality looks like, and C.S. Lewis, he nailed this in the third of his space trilogy called That Hideous Strength. What human manufactured immortality looks like is my brain replicated in a computer chip in the cloud that will persist forever without my body, which is to dehumanize myself to the point of disappearing me.
Wow.
And all of this is related. And that's why I talk about the fact that the scandal of Christ is that we believe in the resurrection of the body.
Hmm.
And that's the thing that cannot be tolerated. So, how do they attack it? By attacking it through the pleasures of the body. Man,
Wow.
we're almost going to sound smart by the end of this.
Well, Dr. Boris, I think we've got some good topics cooking. I think that we could do on another show if you'd like to join again. I just yeah, I just want to conclude by just saying thank you so much. I was really looking forward to talking to you. I had a certain idea of how it would go, and this far exceeded any of my expectations. Uh,
Well, if I had any worries, it was that your response would be something other than that. And so I'm glad this is what you had hoped for. I certainly enjoyed it, and will be happy to come back and talk with you on any number of topics.
Well, appreciate just everything you had to say. I hope the listeners, this is new. We're doing some interviews now on the show, and hopefully you guys love this as much as I did. And then Dr. Borse, just to conclude, where can people find you? Online. Maybe just plug in a few things that you're doing, so people can
Yeah,
look more into
you
what you're
can
doing.
you can find me on X. I go under my own name on X. It's one of my little rogue rebellions against the anonymity of the internet. It is kind of my sign to let you know that I am speaking for myself, that I do believe what I believe. I will defend it. But if you call me out on something that I'm wrong about, I try to be really good about, internalizing that and saying, you know what, you got me. Sorry about that, because I want us to get back to a place where we're actually having conversations about ideas, rather than, being so ridiculously and primitively tribal that we can't have an exchange and disagree. So yeah, I'm on X. I also have a Substack. I've got a little store with some cool T-shirts on it called the Rogue Way on Bonfire. I think I've made about $13 so far, so that's kind of cool.
Hey,
Like I said, a Substack, and then you can find old podcasts with me and my buddy Casey on Podbean, and that still exists, and on we were on I think there's some of them are on YouTube, so you can go
okay,
back and look. That's a former Marine and a philosophy guy having conversations kind of like this, probably not as well narrowed, but a lot of fun. And
okay,
so and Mac, I'll keep you posted on what I'm doing if I get some new stuff. A couple of my short stories were published during the COVID era. One's on West Trade Review. You guys can look for it there. Very different than the conversation that we had here. Another one is on Prometheus Rising, I think it's called, or Prometheus Dreaming.
okay,
That one's called Dumb Dick Daily. I like it a lot.
okay.
The other one's called Joy Ellen. They're both set in the same town, but different, with different people. Anyway, thank you, and I guess I hope to see you guys next time.
Great. Well, hey everyone, thanks for listening today. Dr. Borse, thank you again. And everybody, keep fighting the good fight. Talk to you later.